What's going on, everybody? So today I want to talk about why I think the M16 AR-15 pattern of rifles is better than the AK-47, AK-74, AK pattern rifles, but is still not the best weapon system out there. Now, let me just briefly go over why I said that. I believe this is the best shoulder-fired infantry weapon ever issued, this pattern ever issued to a standing army. This is the genius that went into this. I don't even know if Eugene Stoner and his team knew what they were doing with as far as customization, modularity. This thing is probably the most modular rifle we've ever had, and we'll probably see to this date. We will probably have patterns of these rifles far into the future. But I still think this is a better weapon system. Better rifle, better weapon system. And I say that because this thing's almost too good. It's more than you need for a standing army. It really is. And this is America's rifle. I love this rifle. If I had to personally choose one, it's going to be an AR-15 M16 pattern rifle. But if the goal of an army is to kill the enemy, this pattern, this rifle system, the AK pattern rifles, are way ahead of the United States rifle. Now, the M16M4 is America's rifle. And, you know, despite all the problems we're having in the United States and America right now, I still love America. I still think that's a better rifle for the individual soldier. But just going off of proliferation and body count alone, the rest of the world has taught us that this is completely sufficient, to the point that the M16, like I said before, is almost more than you need. But doing research for this video, there was an estimated 100 million of these made worldwide. 100 million. And I saw estimates now. Again, that's estimates. It could be higher, it could be lower. And then the rough estimate I saw for the M16 pattern rifles was 16 million. So outside of certain Western countries, nobody uses an M16 pattern rifle. I mean, you got the NATO, the West, but even some NATO countries will use AKs in 5.56. They'll use Valmets, Galils. They'll use, I mean, there's been a bunch of other, the SIG 5.51 is basically like a souped up Western AK. Everybody outside the United States, the rest of the world, uses this. This weapon system, I believe this weapon system has put more people in the ground just by sheer numbers. You can't have, let's say, every single rifle of the 100 million that you made put at least one person in the ground. And then you could say, if every M16 ever made, and we know that's not true, and we know it's not every 16 ever made, put 5 people in the ground, it still wouldn't reach the level of this. And that is the purpose of these rifles, is to give the individual soldier more firepower to kill the enemy. And just by sheer numbers alone, this thing, I guarantee you this has put millions of people, this pattern rifle has put, good or bad, has put millions of people in the ground. They're no longer breathing today because of that, weapon system. Now, I believe I saw an interview years ago, Kalashnikov, where he designed it. They met with the Chinese, gave him the TDP, the technical data package for the rifle. The Chinese started making it, and then they just flooded the world with those suckers. Every freedom fighter around the world, freedom fighter, has an AK-47. Every, hell, the war in Ukraine is going on right now. AK pattern rifles. Overwhelmingly. You will see certain Ukrainian units using M4 style, using kind of a hodgepodge of rifles, but they still have a shit ton of AK pattern rifles, mostly 74s. The Russians are using AK-12s, 47s, 74s. So that rifle is still going strong today. Now, while I believe that this is a work of engineering genius by Eugene Stoner, I mean, look at this iteration. This is still basically the same rifle for the first M16, but it's had so many upgrades. This is the most upgradable rifle, and I'm curious. I don't think they foresaw that, how easy this thing is to modify and upgrade. This is almost, like I said before, engineering perfection. This pattern rifle, it is objectively better, more accurate than the AK pattern rifle. But the AK pattern rifle's good enough because they were able to make 100 million, give or take a couple million probably, but estimates are 100 million of these rifles are all over the world. You see these things from Africa to the Middle East to what did Finland have the Valmet, to all the way down to South America, to, they're all over the freaking place. They're all over the place. These were handed out like candy to every communist dictator, rebel group. It's just, they're everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. And they serve their intended purpose quite well. They are a bear to modify if you actually get into the building process or learn anything about these suckers. They're actually more difficult logistically to build than AR-15s. You can't really put one of these together at home. You could buy all the parts you need for an AR-15 and put it together at home. These, not so much. These require a lot more, tooling and time and knowledge and stuff like that. But based on sheer numbers alone of production, of all those numbers, I think this one is good enough when it fulfills its intended purpose. And because of the production numbers, this is America's rifle. This is the world's rifle. Now, again, if they said pick one and go, it'd be this all day long. All day long, no question. But I have to acknowledge the fact that America's rifle, the world's rifle. So let me know what you think down below, guys. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.